Okay, we are now on the record. Good morning, everyone. We are here today in the matter of Melissa McKenzie, case number UP-23-005-AL. This is an application for a use permit to allow an existing one-story brick single-family dwelling to be used for an assisted living facility 1 with a maximum of 4 beds. Looks like the use permit was issued by the Director of Permits, Approvals, and Inspections back in March of 2024. And subsequently, an appeal was filed by the protestants, and we are here today to deliberate based on the hearing we had back. I believe it was September
25th.
September 25th.
Yeah.
My name is Brian Pennington. Again, we were Mr. Stelmack is also here, and Mr. Lauer is here. We were the three who presided over the hearing, and we were here to deliberate. So we have two issues. Obviously, we have the motion to dismiss, which was filed by the petitioner, and then the response thereof by the the oral response thereof by the protestants. I don't know if either of you have any preference of how you want to handle this. My thought is, I can go first if you want. I could just say that I would find, well, first of all, as far setting the motion to dismiss aside, I would find that based on the testimony presented by the petitioner and the witnesses, I would find that the petitioner has satisfied the Section 432A.1, the conditions for use to obtain the use permit. All the requirements were satisfied. The parking, there's no signage, there's no other facility within 1,000 feet, everything else, and even the compatibility study, which was done, and the section for the compatibility study, section 32.4-402, it was everything, in my opinion, everything was satisfied. I know that the protestants brought up an issue with the density, as far as they're saying that the lot's not big enough in the 3.5 density to have 4 beds, relying on the zoning BCZR 101.1. And I don't agree with that, because when you're reading that section, it states, if a resident lives in a room or apartment providing complete kitchen facilities intended for the daily preparation of meals by or for that resident, the unit shall not be considered an assisted living facility. Density for that facility would be at 0.25. Well, that's not what we have here. We have an assisted living facility. What that deals with is people that actually have their own apartment or their own kitchen. Each resident would have their own kitchen or their own apartment. Then they're not considered an assisted living facility. At that point, the density would be 0.25 for each bed. So that's not the case here. This is an assisted living facility, and the requirements for that for 4 beds or less there are no density requirements according to the permits, approvals, and inspections, according to their own checklist. So I think that the petitioners met the burden here to obtain the use permit. So I would find that the motion to dismiss would be moot. That's where I would stand, but I'd be interested to hear what you all have to say.
I couldn't agree more, Mr. Chairman. The only reservation I have is, should we rule at all on the motion to dismiss? Is the only reservation. Excuse me, reservation I have.
I'm fine with ruling on that.
Pardon me?
I'm okay with actually making a ruling on the motion to dismiss.
Okay. Either way is fine with me, but I just kind of question whether we should, but I agree with you as to the merits of the case and the items that you pointed out. I agree completely with you. Thank you.
I think, the motion, we don't have rules for motions, but it was brought and I think it was answered. So I think we should address it within what we're doing now and in the opinion. And I think that, the motion to dismiss is brought there's two questions raised. One is whether the use permit is a decision of the director, which can be appealed, which I think obviously it is because decisions of employees of the director are employees of the director ultimately. And then there's an issue of standing as to whether the neighbors have standing to appeal. And I think that the petitioner's arguments are based on the issuance of a building permit and not a use permit. So I think that we can pretty easily dispose of the motion to dismiss. I think the standard for the dismissal is anyone who feels aggrieved, and that's a different standard than is aggrieved. I think the neighbors here definitely do feel aggrieved. They've made that pretty clear. So, I think as far as a use permit goes, they have standing to appeal. But I also, well, all right, I guess we'll just finish with the issue of the motion to dismiss, and then we can just move on.
Yep, that's fine. So I agree with you as far as a motion to dismiss. I would deny it. I mean, for the same arguments you made, the permit was actually issued by the director of PAI. I mean, there's a signature line on the use permit for the director of PAI. So that's satisfied. And exactly what you just said, the case law out there for the permits, issuing of building permits only specifically states if an applicant disagrees, then they can appeal. Well, this statute is totally different. Is that what you just said? This statute says any party feeling aggrieved can appeal. So there's a big distinction there. So I agree with you that I would deny the motion to dismiss.
Okay, and then
Mr.
far
Loudon,
as the
agree with
issue
that?
of
I'm in agreement with you, yes.
Okay.
The issue of the use permit, I agree with you. I would grant the permit. I think the issues before us are considerably more narrow than the issues that the protestants bring up in the hearing and before and in their closing memo. They have a number of issues that they bring up, but we're only really allowed to consider the narrow issue of the issuance of the use permit. And within that our narrow ability, I would find the same way as the county, which is that the petitioner meets the standards for the issuance of a use permit here.
Okay.
Okay,
So I think we're all in agreement then. So we agree to deny the motion to dismiss and then grant the issuance of the use permit. And I don't know if, I guess the use permit in and of itself, it is contains a maximum of 4 beds, but we can, just to be safe, we can put that in our order that, can't be any more than 4 beds. Okay, does anybody have anything else?
I don't, thank you.
Okay. So then, if not, we'll go off the record and then we will issue an opinion here directly.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, Mr. Chair.
All right, have a great day, everyone.
Okay.